This is a scary one. A Texas woman robbed and pistol whipped, and they threatened to cut off her fingers in Ritzy, Dallas area by illegal Venezuelan migrants with gang ties. What do you think? Little tren de Aragua? Let's get into it. Here we go. Yeah, this is some scary stuff. The robbery in Bluffview, Dallas was linked to suspects allegedly tied to a Venezuelan street gang. Now, where is Bluffview? Bluffview is right here. Here's your downtown Dallas. Here is Highland Park. Here is University Park. This is a nice area of Dallas. Where this pinpoint is, I worked on a home when my dad had a repo. He bought a repo back in the S&L crisis. Big, huge, sprawling rambler. I did a bunch of renovation on that along with a contractor. And Bluffview is, there's a lot of money, a lot of old Texas oil money in this type of area. Let's watch a little video.
Home invasion, along with a robbery, comes to an end in Dallas after a long SWAT standoff at an apartment complex there in Texas. Police arresting 4 suspects who are allegedly members of a Venezuelan gang. Brooke Taylor live in Dallas to run down this story. Brooke, what you find out?
Bill, the details in this case, let me tell you, are just horrifying. This woman says she was held at gunpoint inside of her own home by these 4 guys. She says they tied her up. They threatened to cut her fingers off and beat her with a pistol. We now know that these 4 men who were charged are illegal migrants from Venezuela. This woman lives alone. She's in her 50s, just pulled in her garage in the upscale Briarwood neighborhood of Dallas. Police say the 4 suspects approached her, forced her inside at gunpoint, ransacked her home, stole money and jewelry. According to police records, the suspects only spoke Spanish and communicated through Google Translate. Luckily, police say she was not hurt. When they left, she managed to free herself, ran to a neighbor's home and called 911. Police matched a fingerprint to one of the suspects, Manuel Hernandez, who named the others involved. All 4 charged with aggravated robbery and have ICE detainers. ICE tells Fox News that all 4 are from Venezuela. And according to records, Hernandez told investigators they're involved in a criminal street gang. Now, ICE would only give me the immigration history of Manuel Hernandez. And it's worth noting because in March, he illegally entered the U.S. from El Paso, and he has been arrested at least twice before this. Just months after illegally coming into the U.S., he pled guilty to a DWI. Despite the conviction, he was released right back into the U.S.
It was very concerning because it's a nice part of Dallas and a quiet part. We welcome people who are not, who come here legally, but people who are not here illegal or are not coming in legally, we have to wonder about why they were able to get here in the first place and this far north.
And meanwhile, over in San Antonio, authorities cracking down on the Venezuelan street gang Tren de Aragua. Multiple agencies going door to door raiding the Palacia apartment complex after reports of drug and human trafficking. 16 Venezuelans there arrested, and HSI identified 4 as TDA members. Now, the aggravated robbery back here live in Dallas has neighbors really concerned. A lot of them tell me that's put them on high alert because the scary part, they say, is this is a reminder that it could happen to anyone, anywhere. Bill.
Okay, we'll stay on, and I know you will. Brooke Taylor, thank you live in Dallas on that today.
Scary stuff in Dallas. Yeah, there's crime in Dallas, but you don't really think of, okay, you're going to have 4 illegals who have been charged with other crimes and have just been reset back into the population. There you go. Go out there and maybe try not to, drink and drive as much, or maybe try not to do whatever it is we're arresting you for as much. That's literally what you've got going on, because these criminals know that no matter what, current administration is going to cover for them. Oh, they're coming in from Venezuela. They've basically got protected status. After a Texas woman was tied up, robbed at gunpoint, and pistol whipped in late September, multiple Venezuelan men have been arrested and charged in connection with the incident. Robbery occurred about 10 p.m. on Saturday, September 21st, after the woman returned from dinner to her home in the Bluffview neighborhood in Dallas, where the average home price is more than $880,000, according to Zillow. You might think, well, that's not that much. You got to remember, Dallas is pretty flat. You're not going to have any great views. You're not going to have any waterfront per se. You've got some smaller lakes, but they don't have the appeal in other areas of the country. So there's no views. You've just got neighborhoods and homes, So close to $1 million. Yeah, that's expensive. That's expensive real estate. And a lot of it has to do with Dallas is now a major employment center. And these homes are in very close proximity to downtown, meaning you've got minimal commute and what has been an otherwise, mostly safe neighborhood. The home that I worked on with my parents on the intersection of Straight and Crooked Lane, Straight Lane, just a little bit further south, was the home of Ross Perot, presidential candidate Ross Perot, back in the day. So that was interesting. We'd drive by and look at his security, and his home was just, it was one of those kind of acreage deals in a really expensive neighborhood. And his home was be way in the back. That's what I remember from hanging out in Dallas in probably 1990, right after the S&L crisis. I mean, things were dirt cheap there. I mean, absolutely dirt cheap. Not anymore. $880 on average. The men are accused of targeting the woman in her driveway. She's lucky she wasn't R-worded. I mean, seriously. One of these guys she's a little bit older, but I'm just going to give her a roll. And she's really lucky that didn't happen. Forcing her into her home and tying her up while pointing guns at her head, according to the police records. Men allegedly hit her in the head. They pistol whipped her and threatened to cut off her fingers. Where's all the jewelry? Where's all the stuff? Take it all. Just leave my fingers. Suspects allegedly used Google Translate. That is another really interesting thing. I mean, when I'm down in Texas and maybe running into Mexico, I tried to use Google Translate. It didn't work all that great for me. I had a wonky internet connection because I was just in cartel country, right? But used Google Translate to communicate with the victim and made off with 75 grand worth of jewelry, a Gucci purse, a Ferragamo handbag, a Judith Lieber handbag. Man, my knowledge of upper end goods is non-existent. I recognize Gucci. Ferragamo? I mean, maybe. Victim's phone and coins from a wooden box. Okay, they ransacked the home, and she is lucky she wasn't killed, raped, assaulted more than she was. Horrible. And, there's this notion of, we've let millions and millions of people into the country, and they're all good folks. They're all here just to work hard and, try and get that little slice of their own American dream. But if you let enough people into the country, there's going to be a certain percentage that are going to end up doing this kind of thing that we've already arrested before. September 28th, Dallas police arrested and charged 28-year-old Manuel Hernandez with aggravated robbery in connection. On October 3rd, Dallas police fugitive unit executed an arrest warrant in Irving, Texas. I hung out in Irving as well. Hackberry Country Club. Parents live there. You don't care, but these are my connections to Dallas, right? With the assistance of Irving Police SWAT and Dallas Police SWAT, and arrested 3 other male suspects in connection with the same crime. It was interesting that the neighbor in that video stated this far north, because Dallas it's North Texas, right? It doesn't take that long to go from North Texas into Oklahoma and Oklahoma City, where my parents live. I think maybe a 3-hour drive, 5-hour drive, something like that. It's a bunch of hours, but in the afternoon you can do it because I've done it. So here's Hernandez. He's the main guy that tipped everybody off. May 21st, Hernandez pleaded guilty to driving while intoxicated. That's special. And was sentenced to 3 days confinement. ICE said. Hernandez was also arrested by Colleyville police on September 19th and released a day before the robbery occurred. Holy cow. What do you even say? And they didn't have enough to hold him? All right, but you're here illegally? Yeah, you should be deported. El deporte, right? Por favor. After his arrest on September 28th, ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations Dallas placed an immigration detainer notice of action for I-247 on Hernandez, mainly, get out. ICE spokesperson said Toriel Ba Sanbaria entered the country, this is the second dude, entered the country illegally at or near Eagle Pass, Texas, December 12th, 2023. That was right before I went down and started checking out Eagle Pass. Because the month of December 2023, 302,000 illegals came across that particular area, the southern border. I mean, and in Eagle Pass, Eagle Pass had 22,000 come through the week before Christmas. So he would have been one of these individuals. So all these people that were just letting into the country, and Customs and Border Protection has been mandated, you just got to turn them loose. Got to turn them loose. Well, these are guys. These are the guys that came across. And the optics became so bad that the Biden administration actually had to do something. But this is after 3.5 years of just unbridled letting everybody into the United States, just no matter what. So, yeah, this is the end result of that. Not vetting everybody and using a parole mechanism instead of a remain in Mexico mechanism that President Biden just tossed out the window because, you want to let these guys in, right? So next day, authorities served him a notice to appear and released an order of recognizance. He's released in his own personal recognizance. Hey, get out there, Buster. Try and be a good boy, but we're here for you if you're not. Here's the third dude. So they came across this guy, third dude, in Brownsville, Texas, on May 6th, according to ICE. All right. He received a notice to appear to a master hearing from the Executive Office for Immigration Review. Yeah, you tied somebody up, you pistol whipped somebody, you threatened to cut off their fingers, and stole about $75,000 worth of their stuff. What do you have to say for yourself, young man? Yeah, right. Martinez Silva. On July 7th, Customs and Border Protection officers encountered Martinez Silva at or near San Ysidro, California port of entry at the pedestrian West facility. Authorities issued Martinez Silva a notice to appear on August 1st, and he was paroled into the United States pending immigration proceedings. That's great. On October 3rd, ERO of Dallas placed an immigration detainer on this guy after police arrested him for aggravated robbery. These guys have all been doing stuff and they're here illegally. Deport them. They got him by finding the fingerprints on the wooden box. Okay. Yeah. But the woman who had all her stuff robbed and had her gun pointed at her head and had her fingers threatened to be severed unless she gave up the goods. What do you say to that woman? Hey, sorry about that. Yeah, we're going to deport these guys. It's all good. It's all good. No, she is scarred for life, right? She is scarred for life. So the Dallas police did not confirm gang ties to Fox News Digital. And Hernandez, the guy number one, he said that the other men were part of the El Anti-Trend criminal street gang. All right. So they're part of a gang. It's unclear exactly who, but really, I mean, does it matter if you're part of a gang? You're a gang from Venezuela. ICE has known about your presence. They known about you. A handful of them have already had criminal proceedings happen. And what do? Just let them out. It's good. It's all good. It's fine. It's no problem. Until something really bad like this happens, then we don't do anything about it. It doesn't make you feel very safe, does it? No. You're just like, okay. Yeah. So somewhere between 7 and 10 million people let into the country, from 170 countries all around the world. And not really much of a vetting process, more of a just parole into the country. Just, boop, yep, there you go. All right, here's a piece of paper. Please show up to your hearing at some point in time. And we'll talk about your, getting into the country here and getting a little bit more of a, citizenship permanency going on. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I am not anti-immigration, but I am anti this kind of stuff happening for sure. And I am absolutely anti this stuff happening when these folks have multiple instances of encounters with law enforcement in the United States, and we already know that they're illegal. Deport them. Just deport them. Just boop, out, gone. You know what I mean? Should be no questions asked. And it's insane. What has happened in the United States is it's mind-boggling. The number of folks that have been let into the country, and now we are seeing the end result, which is the criminals know that they're covered. They know that the world is their oyster, and they can commit multiple crimes, and it's all good. The worst they're going to do is they're going to send me back home. I'm just coming up to the promised land to basically rape and pillage the residents there and steal from them. It's all good. All right, that's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. Love to have you subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.